Sometimes I really do want to have a marketing conversation. How about with a company that's pivoting from legacy Yellow Pages sales to a full SaaS-enabled stack and helping out with AI transformation? Tami Canizzarro joins me. She's the Chief Marketing Officer at Thryv on this bonus episode of The Business of Tech. This episode is brought to you by Control Map. Growing MSPs are using Control Map to build recurring revenue by expanding their GRC services. Starting now, Control Map is offering a free plan for MSPs looking to get started with providing compliance as a service. Create a free account and run an assessment. Track key items like policies, risks, and evidence in one place. It's a practical way to prove value to a client before deciding to expand your compliance offering. Try Control Map for free today. Visit scalepad.com/Dave to get started. That's scalepad.com/Dave. Well, Tami, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dave. Great to be here.
Now, let's start because I want to understand a little bit. Tell me a little bit about what Thryv does, just so I can put you in perspective of where you place in the market, and then we can dive in with some of the questions.
Great. Well, thank you. Well, Thryv has actually been around for over 100 years, and we actually started out selling Yellow Page ads to small businesses to be found online. And over the course of the last 10 years, of course, the Yellow Pages is going away. Hopefully no one's surprised to hear it. And we've been really working with small businesses to help them get found online and to market their businesses and grow their business and also to compete with some of the larger enterprises with technology.
You've been really shifting away from those legacy advertisements towards software as a service delivery. Talk to me about what that means, how your marketing strategy had to change to support that, particularly the way you're repositioning the entire brand for current and prospective users.
So I like to make things easy for small business owners. And so we talk about our small business growth framework. And it's 3 easy steps. 1, get found online. 2, make sure you're turning leads into new customers. And 3, make sure you're turning customers into loyal fans to drive that coveted repeat business. And so we work with our small business owners to really understand the landscape of marketing. And many of these small business owners, they don't have a marketing team. They may not even have a marketer or an office assistant. So sometimes we provide services or we work with partners to provide services and to really help them to navigate the world of marketing and driving growth for their businesses.
Now you're doing that work at a time where marketing is one of those spaces. It's this is really rather impactful because we got to bring up AI real fast when we talk about marketing, because it seems like many of the use cases that people talk about for AI, particularly generative AI, are related to marketing. Talk to me around where you're seeing this AI impact on small businesses. Where is the impact? What are the barriers? And what's being successful right now?
Very true. Well, everyone's interested in AI, including small business owners. We surveyed our small business owners, and our index said that there are 40% more small business owners are using AI than they did last year. And so we do really feel it's starting to get traction, and marketing is a great use case for AI, and particularly in being found online. So we help those small business owners to be found online in the LLMs. And there are simple ways to do that, the website having the right information to be found on the LLMs, to be crawled, making sure you have fact sheets, making sure you have fresh content. Believe it or not, basic table stakes, making sure your listings are updated. These LLMs like factual information. And so we work with small business owners on making sure it's similar to an SEO practice. We call it an AEO practice, that they can be found within the LLMs, because more and more of those clicks, as we know, are going to, or they're not going to your brand landing page. They're staying within the LLMs. And so working with our small business owners to be cited within marketing. Another component of AI is making sure that your website is fresh and your data is fresh and that you are responding to reviews. And so we actually have our Thryv product actually has an AI agent that can help you to immediately respond to good or bad reviews to make sure that your website is fresh and stays current and relevant.
Now, I'm kind of intrigued. So that feels like a large overarching strategy that most businesses do, but some businesses are also in the business kind of content generation, unique publication. Like, do their considerations end up looking a little different than the universal? Like, how do you understand who's right for some of these AI strategies and who might be wrong for them?
I may not be 100% right, but my personal opinion is that the consumer behavior is moving to an LLM model. So, consumers are actually driving the move to AI. They no longer want to go to 10 different websites when an LLM can pull those top 10 websites and do the research for you. And so, in that way, I do think that all businesses will need an AI strategy because, that's how consumers want to interact with your web. Even your website, the movement will be that consumers will want to come to your website and find answers like it's an LLM. So literally a search, meaning a search engine within your website. And so, I actually don't believe there's any getting around it. And so we're really trying to help small business owners to lean into it, and to really be able to use it to leverage, their ability to drive marketing and drive growth for their businesses.
Gotcha. One of the things you've emphasized is starting small with particularly AI use cases. I want to get a sense on that. Won't some argue that incremental steps won't yield like that big differentiation from a competitive perspective? Like, how do you respond to a skeptic who says you need a holistic AI strategy from day one versus the idea of starting small with particular AI use cases?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. And I think starting small is probably a good idea for these small business owners. Some of the small business owners are also, rather than do it themselves, they're actually buying services. So, they'll come to us and say, I don't have the time for marketing. I want you to run my social posts, run my organic ads, make sure my website is optimized, and make sure I have the automation to pull it all through, and hook, line, and sinker, they're set up. Some of the smaller businesses either can't afford or want to do it themselves. And then I would say that there are some, basic ways that you can use even just Chat GBT and/or, a platform like Thryv to move into the world of AI and automation.
How are you guiding your customers to keep that authentic voice? Particularly because a lot of LLMs end up coming out with a particular tone, and it's not always as human readable or human soundable as we'd want it to be. How do you keep authenticity while also leaning in to this kind of automation?
It's a great question that you ask. And so we usually say, let the platform or let the LLM write your email, but then put your own personal tone. And if you're really good at prompting and people are getting better and better at it, you can actually have it learn and know your voice or your brand voice. And the LLMs, I think, are just getting better and better at sort of not sounding like a machine. And if you're prompting correctly, I think it can be more personalized and really start to sound like you.
Now, one of the things I also thought was interesting, you guys recently launched Thrive for HVAC. Like, talk to me a little bit about your decision to focus on verticals and your thinking on how to decide which one and why leaning into particular verticals.
Yeah, so we find that there are different use cases for different verticals, and so we worked with Boschans in the HVAC sector, a very large, successful HVAC company, and we call our solution now built by HVAC for HVAC because we really worked with them side by side and to understand their business and understand their processes because different businesses have different automations that they need. So for Boschans, we might start out with a free inspection request for marketing and then lead follow up. And then they'll have a sales and a job pipeline that can be automated. And then you might want to follow up with customer maintenance offers or a customer satisfaction survey. And that's kind of the pipeline of, I'll say, growth and service and driving repeat business for an HVAC company. That's one use case. And now you take that to a legal office or a med spa or a roofer. And, the basic buy, market, sell components of a business are all the same. but they are different use cases within these different vertical industries.
We'll be right back after this message. This episode is supported by Comet Backup. Not all heroes wear capes. Some live among us, quietly saving businesses one help desk ticket at a time. Whether you're battling ransomware, hardware failure, or human error, Comet's powerful backup and recovery solutions put you in control. Manage all your backups in Comet's simple, centralized platform. Protect computers, servers, virtual environments, emails, and databases. When disaster strikes, be the hero your business needs. With Comet Backup, you're not just saving the data, you're saving the day. Comet Backup, for the everyday IT heroes. Visit cometbackup.com to start your free 30-day trial today. Get $100 free credit when you sign up with the promo code MSP Radio. Comet Backup. Be the hero. Save the day. And we're back. The other area that I think you've probably got some particular expertise in is positioning and differentiation. SMB marketing and CRM tools, it's a crowded space, much like managed services and IT services could be a very crowded space. How do you differentiate and maintain your brand clarity when your customers may already be using overlapping tools and see some of the space as a bit of a commodity?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'll answer it twofold. One, I do have a lot of fun looking for, and I do this with small business owners and we do this for Thryv, really finding your brand why. And you can actually use AI to look at the competitive differentiation of your entire industry and kind of see where there might be some niches that are less crowded. And in small business, there's a lot of CRMs, there's a lot of all-in-one softwares. And so we actually do feel like this area of our marketing center product and a leading AI-powered marketing and sales platform is a bit unique in the small business arena. And it's, when we talk to small business owners, a lot of times they're not really looking for software. And so I think it's difficult to sell all-in-one software because they're not really looking for software. They're looking for growth. They're looking to get time back in their day. And so our new message is really all around grow with Thryv. And that seems to be resonating really well.
Gotcha. Now, one of the things that I actually do think is interesting, you talked about that, it's the getting back the time. A lot of vendors promise automation and AI will reduce headcount, or reduce cost. But at the same time, the tools do introduce some complexity and overhead and management. How do you ensure that the tools Thryv are delivering reduce friction rather than move it around?
Yeah, that's a great question. Often our small business owners, what they come to us saying is, they're a little bit inefficient because there's just not enough hours in the day. So that's where I think these, building these kind of vertical solutions that are really built for a particular business person in their industry can help to make sure that we're thinking through end to end their business model. And some, like Botians, we did, I think, at least 11 automations for them across their entire business. But I wouldn't recommend that for a business owner who maybe had, one or two trucks and a more simple business model. We might start very simply with an AI optimized website and maybe a lead follow-up form, right? So you do sort of need to understand a little bit, where these businesses are in their maturity and add AI, in a simpler form for business owners who maybe are on the smaller side in terms of scale.
If you believe all the hype, every business owner out there right now is transforming their entire business around AI and AI workflows and automation. But I'm inclined to believe that there's a lot of small business owners that are still struggling to understand automation and what's even possible. Give me your sense of where the market landscape is. Like, what are realistic use cases? What's the level of adoption that makes sense? Like, what are you actually seeing from the field?
I would say we start with our small business owners with a very simple digital marketing score, and we sort of scan their business. And first and foremost, are you being found online in the new world of search? And we just start there. And then we'll also do AI review response. And because I think most small business owners understand you need a lot of great reviews and you need to make sure you respond to them. Those are kind of just some of the basic basic tenets. And then I would say a third area that, many of our small business owners are doing today, and a lot of them are really interested in and have the capability to use AI, is just in creating automated campaigns into their current customer base. And I always say that's one of the best ways to drive repeat revenue. I think of it as kind of getting your customers on a subscription model, right? So if you're I don't know, chimney sweep, right? Once every 2 years, you're sending out a reminder that it's time, right? And you'd be surprised at how many small business owners miss that. They're not doing that proactive outreach into their install base of customers to make sure that they're getting that repeat business. And I actually think that's a pretty easy way to take advantage of AI and automation. And you can do those campaigns using AI, rating those emails and making sure those triggers are set, whether it's your annual service reminder or your annual birthday campaign, and sort of running just some very simple campaigns into your customer base. And I would say that's where most of our customers are getting some traction, and it's a very doable way to approach AI and pull it into your business.
Gotcha. The other thing I wanted to ask about is, like, the conventional wisdom is that marketing must always lead growth. But I think there's also a product usage drive where product usage drives acquisition more than marketing itself, particularly if we're thinking about it from a SaaS perspective. Like, how do you see the balance between that marketing driven and product driven growth, particularly in what you're doing?
Well, it's a great point. And we talk about PLG a lot, or product led growth. And we're actually at Thryv, we're getting ready to think I'm allowed to announce this. We're getting ready to, bring out a new trial version of our product, which we're really excited about, because we think seeing is believing, and we believe if the customers can get their hands on the product and then start small and then start to add on services and, add on additional products and fall in love with the product, that's the best way to market a product, right? And so that will be our strategy going forward, really hands-on. We also have reps in the field, and I believe in this category with small business owners, it's also very powerful that, that personal touch, where if you're not real technical, sometimes it's not about the product, it's about someone explaining to you or holding your hand to say, listen, this isn't that hard, I can help you, and really kind of walking them through. And a lot of our business advisors do just that. They'll walk them through the product, and they'll even, stay with them to answer questions and help them to use the product, and even sometimes log in themselves, and help them to understand a little bit of the world of digital marketing and digital business.
So as we wrap up our time here, I really want to get a sense, like, talk to me a little bit about how you think about that customer retention. We always hear that in small business, relationship is everything. But if you're trying to deliver SaaS style applications, it's really hard to be personal touch. Like, talk to me about the way that you at Thryv frame that and how you address the problem.
I really do believe that you have to meet the customer where they are. So, sometimes I think as a SaaS business, you think, we want all PLG, no hands-on, they're going to fall in love with the product, and, the margins are going to be 95%. But in reality, each and every segment, right, of the business has a way that they want to buy. And so they might want to buy through a partner who sells their IT services. They might want to buy through a marketing agency who's reselling Thryv. They may want to buy through one of our business advisors who is going to hold their hand and have a relationship with them for the next 10 years. Or they may want to not speak to any human and get into the product and, self-serve and decide which components they want to use. And so at Thryv, we're really trying to give our customers those options based on where they are and meet them where they are.
Gotcha. Well, Tami Canizzarro is the Chief Marketing Officer at Thryv, where she leads marketing efforts to accelerate SaaS growth and reposition the brand as the premier software partner for small businesses. With over 20 years of marketing leadership across tech firms, she's brought experience in growth marketing, digital transformation, and AI strategy. Tami, if listeners are interested in continuing the conversation, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Well, they're welcome to check out a demo at thryv.com, or you can email me directly at Tami.Canizzarro@Thryv, THRYV.com.
Tami, thanks so much for the conversation.
Thank you, Dave.
Want more from the business of tech? Join Business of Tech Plus for ad-free episodes, early interviews, extended cuts, subscriber-only shows, and exclusive member perks and analysis. Sign up at businessof.tech/plus. And follow this show in your podcast app, and if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe and the bell so you never miss a story. Reviews and comments help spread the word too. Interested in advertising? Head to mspradio.com/engage. The Business of Tech is written and produced by me, Dave Sobel, under ethics guidelines posted at businessof.tech. Thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next episode.